Hello, it's Kerry from Mobilates. I'm with you live at 4:30 for 30 minutes of gentle exercise. And we are right at that point. We're getting to the very shortest day of the year. You can tell because I feel like I've got so many lights on in here just to brighten things up. I hope you are keeping well. So it might be your first time today. It might be you've been with me all 111 times that I've been here. Either, it doesn't matter. It's all good. Everybody welcome. We are going to be moving in a mix of standing, sitting and lying, and also sort of like this. And I don't like to say all fours because it puts people off. I have so many different ways of doing things, so don't let it put you off. There's always a different way to do things. Right, shall we get started? As it's quite chilly, I'm going to start from the feet, and I'm just wiping my feet like you would on a mat when you come in, but it's my socks. And this is a really good way to bring a bit of circulation to your feet, and it's especially good when you've been sitting, like if you've been listening to something or watching telly or reading, just to bring a little bit of circulation and sensation to your feet. Can you see I'm doing different moves here just to get some sensations back in? Also just brings a little bit of warmth through. Right, from here, you've got that warmth. Now move your toes up and down. You can just about see I've got sort of socks with different colours on my toes. These are like really, really nice and warm socks. Nice and thick as well. So just lifting toes up and down. And now you might want to take your legs slightly wider to give you a bit more of a base, especially if you're standing. If you're seated, you can go a little narrower. So you've got a small gap between your legs, maybe 2 fists between the knees, that sort of size. From here, if you're seated, put your hands on your chest. And if you're standing, arms out to the side. We're just going to rock a little forwards and backwards, just enough to feel a bit wobbly, but not enough to fall over. There's the sweet spot. And if you need to hold on to something as you're doing this, you just want that chair next to you for a bit of security, or you might have your fingers next to a wall or be using a stick. All good. So just feeling what that feels like for you. And then we'll soften everything, give everything a little wiggle. If you're standing, let the knees go, like your suspension has just gone a little in your knees. Excuse me. And then we're going to go into pelvic tilts. So if you put your hands over your belly, your sort of low belly, so you're making a sort of triangle shape and it's pointing downwards. Now you're going to rock that point at the bottom away from yourself. See a little back arch kicks in. You can see my bum start sticking out. And then you're going to bring the top of the triangle, that horizontal line, towards you. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm using my breath to help me. I'm breathing in as the tip of the triangle goes down. I'm breathing out as I'm pulling my belly back, like I'm pulling it away from this area, and I'm trying to lengthen my back. Breathing in as I go forwards, breathing out as I pull back. Now, if I'm doing this seated, just the same. And if you look at the contrast line between my top and my trousers, you can see a little bit of movement. I'm trying to keep my head and shoulders in the same place because I don't really want them to move. That's it, just for a little bit of mobility in your low back. And then ease it off, a little wriggle side to side. Place your hands in a prayer position gently. So it might be your arms are like this, it might be they're like that, it might be even lower down, your hands don't quite meet. It's wherever your hands can come together. From here, you just turn your head a little from one side to the other. That's it. Oh, hello. We've got Irene, Jackie, Jean and Christine already with us. Hello, ladies. I'm so glad you're here. So keeping those heads turning, but not forcing it. It's a really gentle turn. And then place your arms outwards, palms are facing you. My palms are facing the screen. And then we're going to take the ear towards the shoulders. Face just looks ahead and the ear towards the shoulder. That's it. Up in the middle, looking ahead, just turn the palms backwards and forwards. So the whole arm moves, you're getting a little bit of movement in the shoulders, and you might find that your palms can go a little further back, and there's a little bit more rotation there. You might not. Just see how it is today. And then leaving them facing forwards again, we're going for a neck roll. Now I tend to go a bit one way and a bit the other. If you've got a larger range than me and you can take it in more of a circle, go for it. But it should feel like you're easing your neck, not like you're pulling or hurting. Gorgeous. Back to the center. And now starting some shoulder circles. So just starting small, keeping everything close to the body and just seeing, what's that like? How's it feeling? And then if it feels good, you might make them bigger. If it's not feeling so great, you might go one side and then the other, or you could use your elbow and bend your arm and create a bit more space. Like you're going to be giving something like a little stir round. That's it. And we could use our breath in this, breathing in as our arms and shoulders come forwards and breathing out as they go around the back. That's it. Lovely. Now we're going to take a little side step. Now, if you've got a mat, you can sidestep along your mat. And what I'd like you to do is go at a speed that works for you. You can crouch down a bit lower if you want to, but I'd like you to try and look ahead. If you're sitting, your side step isn't going to be quite so linear. You're going to end up going slightly like you're on a turntable. And you're going to wish you had a seat that swiveled round. But just taking your feet out to the side. We're not going to do this one for too long, so don't worry if it's a bit difficult in the chair. And then I'd like you to do a heel dig. So that's like you're digging your heel into the ground. And I'm doing it quite firmly because I'm on a soft mat there. What you can also do if you're standing as you do this is slightly lower the other leg and let the knee go forwards. That's it. It's good practice for coming down a step or stairs. Perfect. And then coming to the heels and the toes. So heels first. Lift a heel on one side, nothing else. Take it down. Lift a heel on the other side, nothing else. Now, when I say nothing else, we don't want the body to go up and down or wiggle from side to side. Just the knee comes forward and the heel goes up. That's it. Feel on that side. Keeping everything else steady. Then the other side. And then a little shift from one heel to the other heel. You might even do it up in the air. Or maybe you could hear the little click there. My ankles love to give a little click on those moments. It's just one of those little body percussion noises that you get. And then take it down. And we're going to rock again. Now, feet, how do you like them? Do you like them as they are, or do you want them a little wider? Arms, where would you like them? Would you like them out to the side, or are they okay just relaxed? Do you feel your feet have got more sensation? Your whole body is a bit more aware. That's it. You're seated. Bring your legs really close, together. Pressing them into each other. And it's a bit like you're on an imaginary rocking chair. And your feet are doing the rocking. Last one. And from here, take your legs wider. If you're seated, slide backwards and forwards with your hands on your thighs. If you're standing, you'll swish around. That's it. And you could let this be a sort of heavier movement where you really let the arms flop onto the body. Now, if you're in the chair, it's much harder to do this because the chair is in the way. But what you can do in the chair is really swish around like you're right in the center of a whirlpool or a hot tub. I like quite dramatic hands as I do this, so I can reimagine the water and the warmth. I could just do with a spa day just right now. I'm not quite sure where it's going to fit in. And then bring that back to the center. And then we're going to go for, let's have arms in an L shape. I'm coming in quite close. So if you see my arm here, you can see the L shape and the elbows are really touching at the sides. Give your shoulders a little roll until you feel them drop down. Breathe in. With your shoulders drop down, a little nudge behind you, then forwards. Nudge behind you. Now, as you're doing that, the gap between your hands stays the same. So it doesn't go like this. It doesn't go like that. It just stays where it is. Perfect. And the place that we're trying to get this is right here where my plat is. Like we're trying to squeeze it with our shoulder blades. And then we're going to put one hand on our belly. The other hand is coming forwards. The other arm is coming forwards. Now I want you to reach forwards and let your waist turn a little as you do this. See my body have a little turn? My hand's just on my belly, or it could be on my hips. I quite like it on the belly. And you're just reaching like you're trying to reach towards somebody. And then you're going to pull that shoulder back. Reach away and pull back. One more. Reach away and pull back. Next one. Reach away, pull back. Reach away, pull back. Reach away, pull back. Last one. Reach away and pull back. Now both arms forward if you're standing, or on your chest if you're sitting. So if you're standing, we're just going to go into a little bit of a squat. So it's like I'm just going to lower my bottom. I'm just about to sit on. Oh, no, I've changed my mind. And my feet are a little wider apart. They could face outwards a little bit. If I took mine outwards a little bit, legs might be a bit wider, or they could be facing forwards or broadly forwards. What I am concentrating on is I'm pulling back here a little so that my back is looking straight here rather than this. And there's an arch in it. So just pulling back into it, a little bit of tension there. Now, as you stand, push into your heels. Now, seated. If you're seated, I'd like to have your hands here, push your weight forwards into your feet, and then push back and bring yourself back up. Forwards into your feet, press into your heels, and upwards. Forwards, you don't need to go very far. And we're also pulling back into the belly a little bit. Like you're just bringing your whole belly and your waist away from your top. Perfect. And one more. And then we're going to take our arms out to the sides and rotate our wrists. And then we're going to go into a little figure eight with the arms. I'm going to change this again in a minute before I crash into the side. Every time. The side of the chest of drawers, going to go forwards and backwards. And then we can make this bigger, taking the arms up and then going forwards. Now I'm doing this. I know my abdominal muscles can take it. If you're also feeling a bit weak, use your hands here. Use them as a bit of help to push you forwards and backwards. I like my wrists out to the side for this one rather than straight ahead, but we could do it this way. That's it. And if you're standing, that same squat position is there, but this movement's a little faster. That's it. And then we're going to take it into an all fours position. And before you panic, let me show you the different versions of what we're going to do. Just changing the angle slightly. So if you are seated, your all fours is like that. And your knees and wrists, it's like they're against a wall here. Your knees, wrists, even your shins against a wall, and your back is straight. And you can see it's all fours. It's just tipped around a different orientation. And your all fours, keep like this. I want you to pull your belly back and then let it go forwards. Pull your belly and your chest back, let it go forwards. If you are standing, you could take your hands to a table, or I've got my chest of drawers here. Now we're in all fours again. My table slopes slightly downwards, but you can see I've got two sets of sort of legs, as it were, to do my all fours. I'm going to soften my knees slightly. So again, pulling my belly away, letting it drop downwards. Pulling my chest and belly away, letting them drop downwards towards the floor and the chest of drawers. Or if you're happy to go onto your knees, cushions underneath, or you could, if it's one particular part, for me, it's my wrists. That's what I want, my top mat. Just going to give myself a little extra cushioning. Let the belly drop down, the chest go slightly forwards, and then pull away. Now, as you're doing this, push your hands and your shins down into the floor. It helps to have something soft, not a hard floor underneath. So all those positions are all fours. And if one doesn't work for you for a while, try a different one. Last one of these. And then just a flat back. So you're either horizontal or you're sloping down, but there's no dip in the center of your back. You're pulling your belly and your waist back into it. Right, from here, we're going to move a leg. And this leg, it's like you're a dog going to have a wee. It's that sort of move. You're taking this leg out to the side and in. Out and in without the rest of your body moving, or moving as little as possible. So that's what it looks like in that position. If you're doing it seated, you might be sliding this leg. I'm doing a slight lift and I'm pushing down into this leg, and my hands and my knee here are against this imaginary pane of glass or wall. Work one side, please. And if you are on your chest of drawers or your table, just getting that softness in my knees, and I'm taking one leg out to the side and back. Now I'm trying not to tilt like this, just keeping everything else facing forwards, and just that one leg moving out. And I've just had to do a little pull back here because I can feel that happening. And I'm trying to push away from this chest of drawers and push my foot downwards. Last one, that side, you may want a little wiggle in between. This is when you don't want to be doing this with the view being over there, the window, and people looking in. You really, it would entertain everyone as the bus went past, wouldn't it? We're working the other side, taking it outwards in whichever position you've chosen. And you've got to find that point of resistance. So if you're seated, the point of resistance is the floor and your bum on the chair. There isn't anything to push against here. It's just the hands. So if they need to relax, they can. Pulling the fingers back can give you a bit of resistance, sort of tightening on the arm, but there's nothing to push against. Last one. And now some sort of wiggle. Ease off. And then if you are able to go down to your lying down surface, could be your mat or your bed, take yourself down there. I'm just going to change the camera angle a little bit. And I'm also thinking it's our last one next week before Christmas. I'll have my Christmas jumper on, I think. I'm doing all my Christmas classes next week. So getting, I think I've got some sort of reindeer ears. Right, now we're taking this down to a lying down position or sitting back in your chair. You might even want a cushion behind your back in the chair. That would be nice if you are not able to come down to lying or being on your bed or your mat. And just, if you come down to the floor, just spend a little moment adjusting things, getting everything comfortable. Having your arms, wherever feels nice. And And a little rock. And just so your body knows where everything is now, it's changed from the upright position. And then come into a stillness and just check your eyes, if you open them, are just looking straight upwards. Let things sink down a little. Let your breath settle. And we're going to take a breath in, but instead of just going in through your nose and feeling it here, I'd like you to feel it at the sides of your waist, like you're trying to breathe out at the side. Well, breathe in at the sides, or breathe out at the sides for a moment. Breathe in and make your sides wider. So let's take that breath in through our nose. You might feel your back pressing into the back of the chair or into the floor. As you breathe out, your ribs travel inwards. Let's do that again. Breathing out a little widthways expansion. Widening. And breathing out. Everything narrows. Breathing in, let it widen. And breathing out, let it narrow. And now let your head, if you're lying down, let it really roll. If you're sitting up, soft turns, side to side. But lying down, very passive, really rolling on the back of your head. And then come to the center and just place your hands against your chin and lightly just remind it to come down a little and feel the length at the back of your neck. And then a little wriggle. Same again. And a little wriggle. And the same again. Place your hands on your thighs and just push away slightly and again a little wriggle. We're just making our spine a little longer. Right, now hands on your belly for everybody, sitting or standing. Take a breath in, but again, these wide ribs, like you're trying to widen the edges of your waist. I know not many of us really want to have a wider waist, but just for the point of this exercise, we're going for it. And as you breathe out, it's like your belly sinks either down or back if you're on the chair. As you breathe in, it comes forwards. Breathing out, it sinks back. Breathing in, this width waist feeling at your waist, it comes forwards. Last one. And then we're going to imagine if you are lying down, a round tray on your belly and a marble, and you're going to start rolling that marble right around the edge of that tray. I encourage you to close your eyes. And if you're seated, I want you to imagine an upright clock on your belly. And it's like the second hand. You're just following the very edge of the second hand, going around all the clock, all the numbers. And you're just getting that little wriggle. And it's just like a washing machine almost. On a very slow cycle. Imagine you've got the most delicate of silk items in there and it's just taking it very gently. And then pause and take it the other way. That's it. And then come back to the center. If you're on a chair or on the edge of your bed, I want you to be right on the edge. Place your hands on and start to slide one leg away. Make it as long as you can. And then the other leg. And we can do this on an exhale. Sliding away. And I'm going to do the same line down. Just getting the right place on my mat. So as you exhale, slide away. As you inhale, slide back. And we're going for length here. It's like someone's got a foot and they're just making our leg even longer. And then sliding it back. Even longer. and sliding it back. Now opposite, arm to leg, first coordination, a moment of confusion. And again, we're going for length. Now, sometimes you might find your arm doesn't want to go as long as it can. Mine often doesn't want to go very close to my ear. It needs a bit of space in my shoulder. Go with it. This side's happy to go closer. My right side really likes to go quite a bit wider. So, hear what your body's saying. Sorry, I forgot my legs. Now we can also hover this so that that foot doesn't touch the floor, the leg doesn't touch the floor. It slides all the way back and your foot goes down. Your arm may or may not touch the floor. Mine is not, it's just hovering. You could also do this with your arms bent and they just go up. So if you've got discomfort in your arms and you're thinking, I don't really want that long stretch, keep them bent. One more each side. That's it. And then we're going to take it into, I was going to say a bridge, but no, I'm going to do a hip opening. So because we did this theme of this class, some of the moves that we've done here, we've done them in the first half. So this next one, you will recognise this one. We did this over in the middle bit. I want you to hover a leg to tabletop. So if you're lying down, this could be a raised tabletop like this. If you're seated, it's going to be a little heel raise hover like that, and it could be like this lying down too. Take the whole leg outwards a little, nothing else moves, and then bring it in. Remember that little dog we move when we are cocking our leg like a dog? It's the same thing. You don't want anything else to move. I'll just show you how it looks seated. So a little heel raise first, and then just take it out to the side and in. And I'm trying to keep my body facing forwards. Now, if it's too much with the heel raise, keep the foot on the floor. But what you don't want is the knee going at a different place to the foot. We're trying to move them both together. And this leg, you want to be pushing it downwards. Push that foot into the floor. And last one. And then stretch that leg away and give the ankle some circles and loops and swirls. Any curvy sort of moves you can get into those feet. Not into that one foot. The other foot hadn't has it turned yet. And then bring that leg back. It's going to push down to the floor a little. So your foot's just pressing down. You might feel a bit of tension in your leg as it's keeping still. And this other leg floats up to your tabletop position or your heel raise if you're seated. And then just like you're opening a door with the outside of your leg and then bringing it back in. Now, if you put your arms out in a T shape, that's going to give you more support and make you feel more stable and keep everything flat. But if you want it to be a little harder, a bit more challenging, you could bring your arms in, you could push them up, and press your palms together. I quite like that. I quite like the feeling in my back as I do that. But it's definitely a little bit more challenging, or hands in here, or arms down by the sides. That's it. And last one. And then stretch that leg away and wiggle that foot, draw circles and swirls. Oh, that's definitely my clunky side. And then we're going to take our arms outwards if we're lying down. Take your hands to the edge of your seat if you're seated. And your legs have got a little space, and you're just going to, space between them, let them go from one side to the other and leave your upper body where it is. And upper body is like your shoulder area. We're encouraging the waist to move. And then we can bring our legs even closer together. Stick the feet together so you see the soles of my feet, and then they go down, and then the soles of my feet are going the other way, and I'm absolutely stuck together at the knees. I'm stuck together at the ankles. I'm squeezing those together, but I'm letting that movement sort of flow. If you've got osteoporosis, much smaller movements, please. Much more like that. So you get a little bit of rotation, but not too much. You're not forcing that twist at the waist. And then kind of a big stretch. Legs out, arms out. You could have arms above if that feels nice and push away, or arms out to the side. I really like arms and legs outwards like a star. Let's breathe in and stretch outwards. In a chair, just make that big star shape and lean back. And then relax. Breathe in and stretch. And relax and soften. And one more. Breathe in, stretch out. And soften. Oh, and then we're going to push ourselves to a seated position if you're lying down to say goodbye. Oh. Have a few little wriggles and we get upright. Take your palms out to the side, scoop up the air, and bring your hands together into your chest. Please take this next week easy, because I know it's a busy week for many people. There's lots of expectation, but it's just a few more days of the year. It's all fine. There are lots of things that we feel we have to do, but we don't really. We can just carry on as however we need to carry on. Don't let all that pressure get to you. Have a good week, and I shall see you next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.